We all know that we are facing a global economic crisis, which Togbe Sri III referred to. This is a crisis that is being felt all over the world, and the cost of living has accelerated across the globe. If you look at the cost of living as measured by the rate of inflation, between 2019 and now, the cost of living or the rate of inflation has increased by 5-fold in Ghana. It has increased by 16-fold in Togo. It has increased by 11-fold in Senegal. It has increased by 7-fold in Cote d'Ivoire and 8-fold in the United Kingdom. The increase in the cost of living has caused hardships, not only in Ghana, but many countries. In fact, the BBC noted about 2 weeks ago that so far this year, in 93 countries, we've had public protests against the increasing cost of living. It is important to note, however, that in the midst of all of this turmoil, we should put things in perspective. The government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has, over the last 6 years, taken many steps to reposition and transform the economy. So whilst we have hardships today, which we are working very hard to alleviate, and inshallah we will deal with them. Whilst we have hardships today, let us not forget what we have been able to do in the last 6 years. Let me recall that our government in the last 6 years has created more jobs than any other government in the Fourth Republic. Let me recall that we have constructed more roads than any other government in the Fourth Republic. Let me recall that we have built more interchanges than any other government in the Fourth Republic. And let me say that we have built more airports than any other government, more railways than any other government. We have built more classrooms than any other government in the Fourth Republic. We have constructed more fish landing sites than any other government in the Fourth Republic. We have also restored teacher and nursing training allowances. Togbeo Mameo, beyond infrastructure, we have implemented many transformational policies. Over the last 6 years, Ghana has successfully issued the national ID card. For the first time in our history, Ghana has a digital property address system. For the first time in our history, Ghana has implemented mobile money interoperability between the telcos and the banks. This is the first in Africa, and Ghana is the #1 country in Africa for access to financial services. For the first time in our history, any Ghanaian who has a national ID card can open a bank account sitting at home and don't have to go to any bank to fill a form. For the first time in our history, we have drones delivering medical supplies to our people in the very remote areas, whether it's blood, whether it's vaccines, whether it's medicines, snake bites, and so on. If you are in Nyangbosre, the drones will come to you. Afram Plains, the drones will come to you. Yagabakubori, the drones will come to you, and so on and so forth. And Ghana, our own Ghana, is the whole world's largest medical drone delivery, the whole world. For the first time in our history, People can buy electricity units on their mobile phone. If they can even buy it from China, Germany, Japan, or the UK and buy their units on their mobile phone. For the first time in our history, we have one district, one factory. For the first time in our history, we are clearing goods paperless in the ports. For the first time, we have digitized the driver's license process. And for the first time in our history, Ghana has implemented the Ghana.gov platform, which is a one-stop shop for public service delivery. For the first time in our history, Ghanaians can renew their national health insurance sitting at home on their mobile phones. For the first time in our history, Ghanaian students can apply for student loans without the need for a guarantor. A Ghana card is sufficient. For the first time in our history, a government gave Ghanaians free water and free electricity for a whole year. For the first time in our history, government has provided free Wi-Fi to most senior high schools, 42 colleges of education, and 13 public universities. For the first time in our history, we have implemented one constituency, one ambulance. For the first time in our history, we established the Zongo Development Fund. For the first time in our history, childhood cancers are now covered. For the first time in our history, we have established Creative Arts Senior High School. For the first time in our history, we have free TVET. And for the first time in our history, we have free SHS. This is accomplishment. This is accomplishment. There are many people who don't like to hear good news, but it is good news. But that doesn't mean we don't have much more to do.